Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. The Governor and I continue to pray for your safety and well-being. We appreciate these are difficult times, and the long weekend would have been particularly challenging for all. We'd like to thank you for your continued support for the public health measures in place. We are committed to keeping you informed of the facts as they relate to the current position. This morning, 4th May, a special virtual session of Executive Council was held with the Permanent Secretary for Health, Chief Medical Officer, and the Commissioner of Police in attendance. Cases. As of noon on May 4th, there are a total of 65 persons who have tested positive linked to the cluster of COVID-19 cases first identified on the 21st of April. These include 64 detected locally and 1 case detected in the United Kingdom, an Anguillan resident who left Anguilla on 19th April and was confirmed positive for COVID-19 on 21st April. 3 males have been hospitalized for varying degrees of respiratory distress. None of the 3 persons have been fully vaccinated. 1 had not been vaccinated at all. The other 2 were recently vaccinated with their first dose. Since 22nd April, aggressive contact tracing has led to more than 1,450 persons being tested for COVID-19. Thankfully, no additional cases have been recorded since Thursday, 29th April. This is positive news. But we must not be complacent, and contact tracing is ongoing and will only end when no more additional positives are confirmed from the cluster. The majority of positive cases and their quarantine contacts from the cluster are due for day 14 testing this weekend. Public health measures. Based on the advice of the health team and the latest epidemiological situation, Executive Council is working to relax where possible the restrictive measures currently in place, in particular as they relate to those of you who are vaccinated. Confirmation on next steps will be provided after Executive Council meets again this Thursday, 6 May. But for now, in order to maintain protection for all, you should continue to stay at home, exercise at home, leave home for essential services only between the hours of 6 a.m. to 4 p.m., wear a mask, and shop closest to where you live.
In relation to our borders, it is unlikely that we will reopen our borders for entry for either visitors or returning residents before the 21st of May. To those residents who want to come home, we share your desire to return as soon as possible. However, in the immediate term, we need to prioritise and manage the increased testing and retesting requirements of those residents on island, in addition to managing the heightened home quarantine numbers, live cases and wider ongoing healthcare needs. We thank you for your understanding. On enforcement, the Royal Anguilla Police Force, Immigration and Customs are supporting the enforcement of the required public health measures. The Commissioner of Police is reporting good levels of compliance. Joint sea patrols are continuing and will intercept boats before they arrive here, and are turning back any boats that have no legitimate reason to be on our waters. The general public remains the nation's best eyes. We ask you to be vigilant and to report immediately to the authorities any boat movements so that action can be taken promptly. On the vaccination programme, the vaccination of the population remains critical, and everyone should continue to get their jabs. As of the 3rd of May, nearly 7,000 people have received their first dose. 2,811 people have now received their second dose. We are encouraged that since the 21st of April, there has been a significant rise in the number of first doses administered. This momentum must be maintained. Adults under 49 years old remain our most unvaccinated group. It is imperative for the protection of yourself, your family and others that you get vaccinated. It will also enable you to participate in greater activities as part of our wider exit strategy. Please get your first jab by the 15th of May so that we can be sure to use all doses on island before they expire in July.
Playing your part. The steps we have all been taking will continue to keep us safe. So once again, we urge you all to take the simple steps that save lives. Wash your hands frequently. Cover coughs and sneezes with a disposable tissue or in the crook of a flexed elbow. Frequently clean and disinfect shared spaces and work surfaces. Avoid contact with persons suffering from or exhibiting symptoms of acute respiratory infections such as the flu, coughs, and colds. And if you have been placed under quarantine or isolation by the health officials, it is critical that you comply with the instructions given. The latest information and guidance can be found at www.beatcovid19.ai. Let us remind you again of the Ministry of Health hotlines on COVID-19.